What I love about this is that traditionally the auctions have been dominated by a small number of players who had this knowledge. They had the access. They've created systems internally, and they don't share that with anyone. There's no one that was ever sharing this knowledge. I mean, I know many of the names of people who buy properties in Palm Beach County or did in the last 15 years, especially during the height of the foreclosure crisis from that 2009 to 2014-15. The great majority of those properties were purchased by just a few groups of investors. But what you've done is you've given access to the common man and the common woman who really want to learn this, and that's great. You're giving them that knowledge, you're giving them the access to the data, and you're leveling the playing field, which is wonderful.
Well, one of the important things is that the key word here is community. We try and genuinely believe it. I'm a people's person. I love to be around people. And I love all our holiday parties that we do for the company. I love as many people to come as possible. It's all about community, because the thing about it is the money is great. Okay, money is really great, but if you just focus on that first, it don't work. I know it doesn't work, but if you focus on building something really great and people really enjoy being part of it and want to do it and they're learning from it, the money falls out of that anyway. It's just the way it is. So our focus, and anyone I talk about, and I've just told this to my kids all their life, and thank God they seem to be profiting from it, strangely, is the fact that just do the best you can. I said that my daughter's a real estate agent. So be the best real estate agent you can. Give the best service you can.
World class is what I say to myself. Is this world class or
Don't give average. Don't go there. Give it the best. Go over the top.
Yeah.
People remember that.
They do.
And, in her case, she's just gangbusters. She's like huge in poker. But anyway, but that's and that's what we've done with PropertyOnion.
So the other problem it solves is, I've seen in my career now, having my law firm for 15 years, countless numbers of mistakes that novice auction buyers go. They go and they buy that $35,000 townhome. The market value is $400,000. They think they got the deal and steal of a century. They were willing to pay $350,000 for it, and they got it for $35,000. And then a week later, they find out why, because they get served with a foreclosure lawsuit, and they just bought an association foreclosure. See that happen countless times.
I sell property like that, and we end up in those situations with clients, and I'm just like,
they have title, but so to explain for the audience, when you buy an association foreclosure, so if the prior owner was not paying their association dues, the association could foreclose. The buyer of that property at auction will get the deed, and you are the legal owner of the property for a certain amount of time, because when there's a mortgage on the property, assuming the other property owner 99.9% of the time is not paying the mortgage because they couldn't even afford their association dues, that mortgage is going to foreclose out your interest, that auction buyer's interest in the property. And so typically someone who buys an association foreclosure might only own it for a few months, maybe a year, maybe a year and a half, depending on how long it takes for the bank to foreclose on the property. And so they've just paid, let's say, $35,000 for this property to own it for somewhere between maybe 6 months and a year, or maybe a year and a half. Yeah, maybe they can move a tenant in there if the association will approve the tenant, but they have to fix the property up. And then is it worth $35,000 to go rent a property for $1,800 a month for 8 months? But that's what I have to tell them is, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry that mistake happened.
Due diligence is one of the key.
Absolutely.
Is the key.
That's the key
thing
that's the point.
At the academy. It's the most important lesson.
And training, like knowing what you're seeing. Like you can give them all the data in the world, but if they don't see that the plaintiff is the Tierra Verde Homeowners Association, well, if they don't know what that data point means, well, that's a problem, because you can only have so many warning signs for them.
And that's where mentorship is so important, I think, for this stuff, because the risk profile is just so high.
Correct. Well, the simple thing is, we teach people, when you go to an auction, first thing you look at who the plaintiff is.
Yeah.
Is it an HOA or is it a bank? That's and is the bank
rule number one.
Is it the first position or the second? Know that. How many people that we've seen have bought second or third position?
I was going to say less common is a second mortgage foreclosure. It doesn't happen as often. Typically, they wait for the first to foreclose and then they get any excess proceeds. But nowadays, if first mortgage isn't moving the foreclosure for it, a second mortgage will. So
I'll tell you something. Sorry to interrupt you, but I'll tell you the second biggest customer who buy our title reports, they buy them after they've bought a property.
No way. Oh
wow.
What's the point? Yeah, where's the rationale, right?
Oh wow. Yeah, they must buy a lot of property and just kind of
no. I mean, well, listen, we have what we call wows, and we got people to buy 20 or 30 reports at a time. But the fact is that people just realise that they've made a boo boo. I better get a title report.
Yeah.
Well, that's the wrong way round.
Yeah. Oh my
I know.
God.
Yeah. What's the average cost of your reports, your title reports?
$55.
$55. And how quick do they come back on average?
They're the next day. You can do a rush as well for another $10 and you get it back the same day. And I will point out,
very, very
we're
impressive.
not a farm. We have 5 abstractors that work for us. They're US based. They work with the fund, as you know. Mm-hmm. And we don't farm them out overseas.
That's awesome. That's very interesting.
Yeah, no, it's really important. And most of them are based in South Florida, so they know, or they're based in Florida, I should say, and they know the market. And they've been.
That's hard finding those people. I bet that's not super easy.
I got to tell you,
first of all,
we're very protective. We are very protective. We don't give out who they are.
Oh, I bet you don't.
You could turn up at a holiday party and see them all sitting around at the table, but
the ones with the big glasses and the smart ones.
Damon always says that you can tell a good abstractor. They're always cat women. They always they have lots of cats for some reason.
So funny.
That is funny.
I don't know why that is, but that's just
funny.
the way it is. Yeah,
One of your title people has a lot of dogs or loves dogs. So I feel like
it's
not an abstractor.
Yeah. Abstractor likes cats, so that's different. Yeah, closers like dogs. Closers like dogs.
It's fun to generalize, isn't it?
No, yeah, I know. Yeah. That's great. That is funny. Yeah. No, but that's a wonderful product at a good price point. Rather than paying for a title code that's going to run you again $100, $150, could be several days. Plus, is going to be incomplete with certain things that would come from what's called a lien search, which would. Yeah. The lien search is where the third-party lien search company has to go down to the city or county, and they have to pull the records to get open expired permits or code violations, things like that. Do your reports include some code violations? Here's
the key: if it's been recorded at the city, then it's included.
Okay,
but we know some municipalities don't record all their utility.
It's iffy. It's iffy, yeah, but
But it's
you can only produce what you can get your hands on, which sounds like is the great majority of things. So
we always say, look, if you're in doubt, get a real estate attorney. Mm-hmm. Because at the end of the day, we can only give you, as you quite rightly says, what is produced by the county. But also the fact is that you get our. We also teach you when you get our title reports is how to read them, what they mean. Mm-hmm. What is a superior lien? What goes away? There's a difference when you do a tax deed, when you buy a tax deed.
Well, that's what I was going to say earlier. Before I was aware of your site's existence, I go through this educational discussion with a client asking about this foreclosure thing. I would usually, and if they were interested and engaged after I kind of like spelled out like, hey, here's like the risk profile of this. It's like, just go buy a tax deed sale, right? Just like go buy a tax deed sale. But now I'm just like, you need mentorship. Go to PropertyOnion. Like just figure it out.
Yeah. You also got to remember the tax deed sale. Sometimes the county don't do it right either.
Yeah.
Everyone's, infallible and, it's human, where there's human interaction.
It can happen.
Yeah. Not often, but you have to have it in the back of your mind.
Yeah. No, for sure. So just a wonderful product and I'm glad you came into this industry and stumbled upon this and then popularized it for the consumers out there. It's really was such a need in this niche area. So that's wonderful to have.